All right, guys, what's up? I know it's been a while, but I got something pretty important I want to talk about. So, our president, Trump, is floating the idea of a bailout for the farmers, a bailout for the farmers. How do I feel about this? I don't like it. And I'm just going to state some facts. First off, this bailout, he's saying that it's coming from the tariff money. We've all been feeling the tariffs. Right now, me and my wife are actually looking. We haven't been making videos because I'm gonna make another video about it sometime. But we're planning on doing stuff to the property. But as you know, everything costs money. Whether you want to build a house, get the permits, the septic, the electricity, clear the land, mulch the trees, everything costs money. I'm looking at the property right now, like I'm looking at all the trees. That's what you see in the background. Um, Everything costs money, and we're at a modular home place the other day, uh and they were talking about, hey, just so you know, if you don't buy it now, the tariffs October 1st is going to increase again. I'm just like, they just increase. How you gonna keep increasing the prices? Like, I'm at this point, I've heard of a tariff before Trump, but like obviously I didn't really care too much about it because I was like, that's, I'm not an economist. Like, it's whatever they say. But at this point, I'm like, yo, hold up. We all got to be honest. The only people who are getting smacked by these tariffs is us. It's like he's bullying other countries on our dime. If you're rich, you're not going to feel the effects of a tariff. But if you're somebody like me or you, or just an average person trying to get by, like, I'm blessed enough to have property and we're looking at putting a home on it. And I still consider myself an average person because I'm like, I'm not balling. And these tariffs, I mean, I'm like, so we're at the modular home place and the guy's like, hey, the prices are gonna increase. I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean they're gonna increase? I'm like, the tariffs, I'm making a joke, like the tariffs getting y'all. He's like, yeah, actually, yeah, they're gonna increase the tariffs. I said, do the prices ever go down? He said, no, they just go up. They go up and they never come back down. And I was like, I went home and looked up the tariff because I'm like, what is this? And sure enough, on October 1st, Trump has already been talking about a tariff is going to take place. And it said literally cabinets, furniture, other stuff that's similar. I'm like, so, I mean, there's other stuff too. He said like Super Duty trucks and some other stuff. But I'm just like, you're making it more expensive to build a house? More expensive? I, 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 I don't even know where to start. Like, bro, we already can't afford a house. You make it expensive to build. I'm just like, where's the payoff? When's the payoff? When do we feel it? And I know Trump has floated the idea. He's just floated the idea of giving us some crumbs. Let's be real. Talking about, like, how, remember, and during the cough, everybody got the little stimulus checks. Well, he's talking about floating the idea of that, like, oh, what if we give y'all a tariff check for, like, even if it's 1,200 or whatever it's gonna be, 800, whatever. I need y'all to understand that that's not that's nothing compared to the money they're like sending out and do it. That's They deal with big money when it comes to these countries and moving money to their buddies and stuff. We're talking millions for your buddies, billions for your other buddies, which is the countries. And we get little 600, $800 checks, and we get told, hey, he's looking out for us. He's looking out for the little guy. So I want to go back to what I was talking about these farmer bailouts, because all of this comes together. Remember when I said millions for your buddies? Let's be real about your modern day farmer. There's two types of farmers. Let's be real. There's, I'm a farmer, my family's been a farmer, and we're just some basic, we got like 10 acres. We got, even if you have 20 acres, even 50, but you make stuff for your family, maybe your community, but you're like a regular schmegular farmer. Even if you got a farm and you're like, I just make it for my literal immediate family, me, my wife, and my children, we all farm together and we just feed ourselves. Kind of like what homesteaders do a lot of times. I get that. But the problem is, your modern day farmer is not that. You're a modern day farmer, and we never talk about this. I hate that we don't talk about this. Let's talk about it now. Your modern day farmer is a very wealthy, super wealthy millionaire person. A lot of times they're millionaires who have state of the art equipment. They have contracts, insurance, and they're making big handshake. That's why you keep hearing a lot of these farmers. They keep talking about nobody's buying. China buys all of our soybeans, and no, there's no orders this time. If you're a regular farmer, you shouldn't be talking about China. That's not normal. In your head, when you think of a farmer, do you think of anybody making a contract with China for X I'm out of thousands of pounds and kilos of whatever. No, that's not a farmer. That's a businessman. That's not a farmer. And that's the problem. So when Trump is saying he's going to do bailouts for these farmers, they're making it sound like, oh man, the farmers, think about America and feeding America. Let's be real. These people are rich. They don't care about you. They got into this because it's a business. That's why they have people who do the work for them. That's why, even though they, and again, my wife and me have tried for the longest to make this channel apolitical, which means apolitical, meaning it doesn't. I have to look it up. Hopefully, I want to say I'm right before I sound like a smartass. It means like we're avoiding neither right nor left, and I try not to talk about racial issues, any like anything that's basically going to be controversial or provocative. I try and avoid that. But let's be real, a lot of these farmers that they're rich, wealthy, and the only reason they were crying about they were happy at first when Trump won. And again, I'm not going to get into whether he's good or bad. I'm just saying they were happy at first when Trump won. But the problem is now they're crying to us, we have nobody to work the land, nobody to work the land, because now the people who aren't citizens, they're gone, or at least they're getting kicked out. And now they're crying to us oh, nobody's buying our crops. Nobody's buying our crops because of the tariffs. And I'm just like, you guys are the most, you know what I mean? Like, I can't stand a business. I've always said, and this is the problem with America. We always talk about the joys of capitalism, but the problem is we don't have true capitalism. We have capitalism with like this handicap. If you're wealthy enough, like a bank, and you start failing, capitalism says if you're failing as a business, you should get swallowed up by a bigger business or by some other business, and your business cease to exist for the most part. If I have a lemonade stand and nobody wants my lemonade, guess what? I can't continue to keep making lemonade and just standing out there and nobody's buying my lemonade. That's not how that works. I'm gonna be at a deficit. But the problem is, a bank says, "Hey, you need to bail us out, President. You need to bail us out," and we always bail them out. You always bail them out because the economy is going to collapse if we don't have the banks. If the banks lose, everybody's going to feel it. It's like when the banks win, I don't feel it. Same thing with the mega rich farmers. These dudes have, look at you. Let me tell you something. This property, and I'm sorry if I'm spazzing. I don't know if you guys want me to, I'm just being real. This property that I'm at, me and my wife, we're looking at Facebook Marketplace for stuff that we can't even afford it yet. And we're just looking like, man, it'd be nice to have that. Maybe it'd be nice to have that. We're looking at like hand me down, old beat up. So like for instance, a tractor. I'm looking at a beat up old tractor if I can get one for like under some thousands. Cause I'm like, I need a tractor eventually, but like it's not at the top of my list right now. But I'm like, I would love to have one. But obviously I can't afford a John Deere X5, whatever. I can't afford that. I can't afford a Kubota, so and so. So I can't afford that. But these mega rich farmers can, even though they're not doing the work themselves most of the time. And if they are, again, they're still millionaires who are like, it's a whole operation. What I'm basically saying is if you're a farmer, in my head, you should be humble. There should be love involved. That's my whole point of getting the land. I told them I want to feed my family and I would love to feed the community, but like there's gonna be love involved if I'm growing stuff. These guys they see dollar signs. This is a crop that makes me a lot of money. Again, if you're having any contracts or deals with countries, you are not a farmer in my book. You're a businessman. That's not normal. So I'll bring all this back to say that basically this whole idea of a bailout, I can't stand it. I hate it. And for him to lie to us right to our face and say, we're talking about taking the money out of all that tariff money, and that's what we're going to bail them out with because we got so much tariff money. I'm like, no. At the end of the day, even if that was true, the only people who are going to feel that is us. These countries is not crying. China is getting, if they're getting anything from US, soybeans, or they're going to get it from somebody else. It's a big world out there, and I'm tired of us acting like we're the only ones who are important. That's how our leaders talk, and the only ones who feel the effects of all this smack talk and stuff is us. They talk smack, say, well, guess what? We ain't gonna sell so and so to you no more. Trade war. And the only people who feel the trade war is us. We sitting here like, so I gotta go to the store and pay this much now for this because you want to talk smack to them, and you're rich, so you're gonna get it regardless. You're good, but now I gotta suffer. Is that right? Is that right? But say your friend wants to make a business deal with somebody, you'll make some new laws and help them out. And y'all, we gotta stop. We're getting finessed. And that's exactly what this bailout for with the farmers is. It's us getting finessed, us paying the bill, us supporting the farmers because apparently America can't eat. I'm gonna leave you on this. This is what I believe. First off, I don't believe in mega farmers. I don't believe in these millionaire dudes. having farms or whatnot. I don't think that's right. But number two, I believe if I live in America, I should eat what can be grown in America. People should eat what you can grow locally. The problem with all this crap is, we want coffee beans and foreign stuff and all this. Eat what you can grow here, and we wouldn't be having this problem. We wouldn't be talking about bailing out mega farmers so we can keep the trade lines open so we can all have access to the special beans and the so and so potatoes and just grow. We can grow plenty of food here. There's people who are on this continent before us, and there's people who are going to be after us. There's plenty of food you can grow here. So I just wanted to tell y'all that real quick because that bothered me when I saw it. I was like, man, I don't know what they doing, but that bothered me. So peace and blessings, y'all. Shalom, shalom. Y'all be safe. Be easy.